Shalom, family. It's good to see you. Don't matter if one person come or 90 million people come. The show will go on. So this morning, Fred Trump III has come out to endorse Kamala Harris. All right. And I got a video clip from Joy Reid's show, so you can listen to what he said. He said he would not endorse his uncle. Now, many of you may know who Mary Trump is. Mary Trump is his sister. Mary Trump has been speaking out against Donald Trump since his days of being back at the White House. Well, now I'm going to play this video. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And you can listen to what Fred Trump III has said about his uncle, Donald Trump, and why he will not endorse him. All right. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Nobody can see the screen? Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and listen to this video and hear what Donald Trump's nephew had to say.
Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? First of all, James David, Donald Trump has got to be rethinking his decision to bring you onto the ticket because, like, you're just weird, man. Just real talk. Second, not a vengeful guy. His unofficial 2016 campaign slogan was "Lock her up." And third, your evidence that he's not a vengeful guy is that he allegedly is a big family man. Well, about that. A new book today by one of Trump's nephews, Fred Trump III, the son of Trump's late brother, Fred Jr., provides an inside look into the Trump family and the actions of Donald himself that refute JD's claims, including when Donald Trump cut off the medical insurance for Fred's disabled newborn son. That happened after Fred and his sister Mary Trump, who you've no doubt seen on this network and this show, and who wrote her own tell-all book a few years ago, sued their Uncle Donald and their other uncles and aunts when they tried to steal Fred and Mary's inheritance following the death of their grandfather and Donald Trump's father, Fred Sr. Yep, sounds like quite the family guy, that Donald. Joining me now is Fred Trump III, author of All in the Family, The Trumps, and How We Got This Way. Fred, thank you so much for being here. Let me read a little excerpt from your book, and this is the part where Trump responds when it became public that he cut off the medical insurance for your son, for his disabled grandnephew. When the reporter asked if he thought he might be coming across as just a little cold-hearted given our son's medical condition, my uncle shot back, "I can't help that. It's cold when someone sues my father." Is this the way that your uncle always was with your family, or did it change when your son was born and when his parents died?
Donald has always had that streak in him of needing to win at all costs. And when Mary and I challenged him and my aunts and other Uncle Robert, he couldn't accept that. It would have been nice if he was just gracious and said, "Hey, you guys are going through something unimaginable." But he couldn't bring himself to do that. So it's too bad.
Yeah, I've got another excerpt here. This is after an Oval Office meeting with Fred, with you, and advocates for individuals with disabilities and their families. And this is what he said. This is a quote. "Those people," Donald said, trailing off, "the shape they're in, all the expenses, maybe those kinds of people should just die. I truly did not know what to say." He was talking about expenses. We were talking about human lives. And there's one more book excerpt, and this is even closer to home. Donald, this is from your book. Donald took a second as if he was thinking, and this was about your own son. And Donald took a second and as if he was thinking about the whole situation. "I don't know," he finally said, letting out a sigh. "He doesn't recognize you. Maybe you should just let him die," and moved down to Florida. That is as callous as it gets. That is as ugly as it gets. What was your relationship to him after that? And I don't even know, just express your thoughts on that if you could.
Well, I mean, it's hard to explain how someone could say that about any human being, least of all his grandnephew. The interesting part, Joy, is that Donald never met William. So he didn't know or understand the inspiration William has been to so many people. So heartless is certainly a way to describe it, but that unfortunately is what I think we're seeing Donald has morphed into over the years. Interesting to go back to the Oval Office story. We were in fact talking about better efficiencies in advocating for the complex disability community, meaning in efficiency, spending less and getting more for it. So that he brought up expenses was a little surprising to me.
Yeah. There is evidence that Donald Trump has a sort of revulsion toward disabled people. I mean, he didn't want to, be near Bob Dole, who had a disability from being a war hero. He made fun of and mocked a disabled reporter. Is that it? He just really is just disgusted by people who are disabled?
He does not have an affinity for folks that he deems to be lesser than him. And I think we're seeing that not just with disabled, any group of people that he feels below him. And as I've been saying, he will use people as pawns and then cast them aside when he gets the goal that he's trying to achieve.
Does that include Black people? Because he's pretending he would like to appeal to the African-American community, but you report in your book that he is not unfamiliar with dropping the N-bomb and with the hard R.
Yeah, you're referring to a situation back when I was about 10 years old when somebody had slashed the roof of his Eldorado Cadillac. And I was there, and I heard him say the N-word twice. And what shocked me, other than the word, was the fact that he did not know who, in fact, slashed his roof. So he just assumed that it was somebody who was black.
You have announced that you are supporting Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Did you vote for your uncle when he ran in 2016 and 2020? And why are you supporting Vice President Harris now?
I did not vote for Donald. And the reason why is I believe in policy over politics. The policies of the Republican Party, or what they have turned into, is antithetical to what I believe. I am supporting Vice President Harris. I am going to vote for her. I will campaign for her if asked. Her policies are what I believe in. I think, and this is not hyperbole, this is freedom on the line. She will move freedoms forward, everything that we, up until recently, have cherished in this country. The policies of the Republican Party are going to drive us backwards. And that's a scary place to be. She also, and I am confident in this, will help lead the charge to advocate for people with complex disabilities.
She recently gave an interview with a disabled person, and the empathy that she just showed, her ability to listen, her ability to communicate with them. I just can't imagine Donald Trump doing that. I guess my final question to you is, do you believe that, a lot of people find your uncle distasteful, cruel, mean? You can throw a lot of, sort of adjectives around. Do you think he's dangerous?
I think some of his thoughts and actions are not physically dangerous. I think they are dangerous for this country and could do great harm to it.
And if he became president, do you believe he would leave office ever?
No, he would continue on. And as I've said, even if he loses this time, which he will never accept, he would run again in 2028.
He will keep trying. And do you think that's fear of going to prison? Or do you think it's just a quest for power, lust for power?
I don't have an answer for your first question. I just think it's he doesn't like to lose. He hates to lose. There's nothing worse to him than losing.
Fred Trump, I thank you so much for the insights that only you really could provide to us. So thank you. Much appreciated. Best of luck with the book.
Okay.
Make the money.
So you heard him say he is not endorsing his uncle. Now, here's my problem. Here's the question I have about Donald Trump saying disabled people should die, according to Fred Trump III, who he said this directly to. Donald Trump's son, Barron, isn't he autistic? At least that's what I heard when Donald Trump was in office, that he suffers from autism. And isn't autism a disability? Then does that apply? Does that attitude he has towards disabled people apply to Barron? I'm just asking. Does that apply to him? Because, I've been around people that are autistic. I would consider that a disability, and I think it is considered a disability. So how do you have a child with autism and you believe disabled people should die? I'm just asking. And how does the media interview and don't even raise that question? What, are y'all scared out there or something? You must be. But yeah, I think that's pretty jacked up that he said that to him about his own son. As long as Fred Trump III and his wife are taking care of their disabled child, I don't see how that impacts Donald Trump. I'm just saying. Many people have disabilities. Many people do. I've had disabled people in my family. My grandmother, on my mom's side of the family, one of her sisters was born blind. Her name was Sarah. And I remember her. She died when I was a child, but I remember her. I mean, there were disabled people in my own family. So, do I think she would have been better off dead? No, there's obviously a reason why the Most High wanted her to come here and be blind. I guess I won't fully understand it, but there was a purpose in it. It had to be. She was here. I don't believe he puts anything here that shouldn't be here. I think there are wicked people that sit around and have a God complex and speak on who should be here and who shouldn't. I do believe that, you know? Thank you, Derek Davis, for the purchase. So I just think Donald Trump should think twice before he opens his mouth and declare that all disabled people should die. I just think that's pretty cruel. Onika, you said my son is autistic, very, very smart. Yes, some are. Some are. Well, it's coming directly from a family member. I hardly call that hearsay. I mean, if you were getting that from a third party, that's one thing. But if you're getting it directly from a family member, I don't think you can label that as hearsay. And number two, Donald Trump does have a mean streak in him, and many people have witnessed it. And according to Mary, he has a very explosive temper. And just looking at the demeanor of Donald Trump, I actually can believe that. And I believe Joe Biden got an explosive temper. I think those type of older men, they are just like that. They are just like that. They anything that don't go their way, they get all upset and explode and have temper tantrums equivalent to one that you would see in children. I believe many of them are like that. Lisa Parker said, my nephews are autistic and very intelligent and smart as well. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I do believe everybody's disability is not a hindrance. I don't believe that. I think it is in some people, but definitely not in everyone. You know, there are people that have disabilities and they get up and work jobs and they're very functional every single day. Miss Abiel said, both of my children are autistic, both high functioning. Is that Asperger's? Yeah. Asperger's. Yeah. I understand. And yeah, I bet they are highly intelligent. You know, a lot of people don't realize sometimes they are smarter than people that don't have any type of disability, you know? And I remember I went to school with, and this was a black guy that I went to school with, and he clearly had disabilities. You could clearly see it when you put paper and like any type of paint in front of him. This dude painted like a professional, and we were in junior high school, but his ability to paint was off the chart. He could literally paint anything, animals, people, objects, and he would get all the details in it and everything. And he was classified as autistic. And it was just amazing to watch. Even the teacher was floored at the work he could do. And I could tell you the work he turned out in art class superseded everybody in the classroom. I mean, he definitely was on a very professional level at junior high school with his ability to just draw and do paintings and sculptures and everything. He was definitely more advanced than anyone I've ever seen. Thank you, Lisa Parker, for the super sticker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Barron did graduate this year. He sure did. I do remember that being out in the media that he graduated. And I think Trump wanted him to participate more on the campaign trail, but I don't think he's interested because I have not seen him. I have not seen him like I've seen Don Jr. and Eric. I have seen those two out there with Donald Trump. You don't even see Ivanka out there as much as you see his sons. She's not even out there as much. But I don't think it's either he doesn't want to do it or Melania don't want him out there like that. She may not want him out there. But Barron's a big dude. I was reading Barron Trump is 6'7", but all of his children are tall. I think except for Tiffany. I don't think Tiffany's that tall. But Barron is 6'7". Eric is 6'5". Don Jr. is 6 feet, and so is Ivanka. Ivanka is 6 feet. So all of his children are tall. I don't know how tall Tiffany is, but I don't think Tiffany is as tall as the rest of her siblings. She's the only one that's not really tall. Mm-hmm. I think Mary Trump looks more like Donald Trump than Fred Trump III. Yeah. The Prince of Paraphernalia, aka Pop. You said, and he's that tall and can't even play basketball. You'd be surprised. I mean, you really got to be a tall person with some good coordination. Everybody tall can't play basketball. That is true. I remember some of the tall guys in my school, they weren't even on the basketball team at all, but they were tall. I don't think that's a given that, your height, yeah, you can play basketball. That's why it just seems awkward that he would have that opinion. And, he got someone in his immediate family that would be considered the same thing. But y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I just know this is going to be explosive, that someone in Donald Trump's family has openly came out to endorse Kamala Harris over him. And they said Donald Trump and Eric Trump has already came out against him in the media, and they're trashing him and everything, saying Donald Trump gave him a golf club membership. Imagine that, a golf club membership more important than getting support for your disabled son. Yeah, okay. But yeah, they're coming out against Fred Trump III. So it'll be quite interesting. I wonder if any more of Donald Trump's family members will come out and endorse Kamala over him. Well, that happened to Kennedy. His family came out to endorse Biden over him. They didn't endorse Kennedy out here. So, I mean, those things do happen. It happens. So, y'all, no, I mean, Kamala is jacked up too. I sure don't support her. She got a messed up record. She really does. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll definitely come back together again on another topic. Shalom, family.